Kathy, welcome. We're gonna do welcome to the counselorship brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. We are going to, I was sent to deliberate the findings for something about God's children. That's literally the label. And I was told the reason why there's so much darkness and attack is because we have kind, pure hearts. We're really genuinely, sincerely, and authentically good-hearted, good-natured. We have a pure heart, an innocent heart, and it's made of true love. And those who can truly love are made of God. So we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is God's hand, by the way. And I'm hearing that song, God's Plan. We also have, okay, so we have double Jupiter, double Saturn. So Saturn can often be the gate that the arch demon, we call it the archon, comes through. The grand or the great adversary is also known as Shaitan. I mean, to me, he's Shamael, not the. There's a lot of names that sound similar to that. I just don't call him Samuel. I'm getting a lot of energy here. And it's a library. I'm hearing an echo chamber. I know you don't know me very well. I know you think you know me, but you don't know me very well. I'm hearing that song. I don't know the lyrics, the languages. And then I'm also getting that someone was cast out of like a divine channel. There's a gate, there's an access, there's a portal, there's some kind of, I'm hearing the word live wire. So somebody's role was shifted downward and they were a keeper of a kind of flame. This particular flame was a celestial flame, so you don't see this upon the earth or within the hands of humans or even divine children that are ranking as earth angels. So that would mean somebody born of a physical womb but is of an angelic origin. You know, this celestial flame, it's like a collective conglomerate energy, is what I'm getting, and it's something about just the sheer divinity. It's everybody's collective divinity upon the earth. So I'm not authorized to disclose anything more on that. Um, we are a gatekeeper here, but something about our abilities to gatekeep, our abilities to portal keep, our abilities to temple keep, our abilities to be keepers of the mystery is shielded even from us. However, we are the gate to the temple, to the portal, to the door, to the mystery. We are the keeper of that mystery. So this is a highly encoded message. I don't want to talk in riddles. I was told to just talk about being open-hearted, good-hearted peoples. This morphed quickly because once we choose to step into our divinity, once we choose to step into our divine mission, once we choose okay, so we're definitely an earth angel. And we need to act that capacity from a place of knowing. And I'm hearing somebody in here needs to learn the 32 paths of the tree of life. Well, there's more than 32 paths, but I won't talk about more than 33 ever. So I'll put that out there and move on. So the fascinating thing that I saw is that the grand adversary, the spirit of separation, the angel of darkness, they often use Saturn to step into the physical. And then the divine, which has so much more infinite, unlimited power, they often use Jupiter to step into the physical. And Jupiter typically and technically has a lesser authority upon the earth. Okay, now I'm being informed, educated, enumerated, elucidated. Okay, so the reason why it looks like Jupiter is weaker is because Jupiter is benevolent karma, also known as dharma. So that gets given to you last. And don't we know that the last to be called is the first to be chosen, the last to be picked is the first to be chosen? For those who are ridiculed, oftentimes the meek, they get the glory. Okay, and then Saturn, which is the lord of karma, so oftentimes unearned good karma is this, unearned dharma is called karma. So no wonder we see that as more powerful. And so there's another thing that evil witches, or I'm just going to say witches in general, but you can be a witch and be good. Or to me, that's like saying benevolent narcissist or benign narcissist. Why use it? Those words cancel each other out. Like, why are we doing that? So I like to use the word healer and witch, but there are white witches, which are a higher rank and higher grade, I'll say, than black and red witches. Now, a true black or red witch hearing that would go crazy and become combative. But I just want to say, some people were born with their power, and some people's power they were born with and it degraded, or some people's power they had to go to a lesser spirit to get. So in my camp, in my hood, in my community, in my temple, in my house, we use the word witch more in a negative connotation, although that's a misnomer, and it actually isn't. Witch is a woman in total control of herself, a woman of wise wisdom. And even if you're a man calling yourself a witch, it means you use your womb. And men have a womb that it incepts, and women have a womb that concepts, like conception versus inception. So we'll leave it there. I'm a mystery keeper. We can teach and we can talk for years and years. Okay. I'm just getting a lot, so let's keep going. Yeah, so a woman who, a witch and a healer. A witch uses her powers to separate, a healer uses her powers to unify. They're powers of the same source. So in classic literature and modern cinema, they separate witches from demons. It's not true. But it is giving the mystery. So those born of a natural power who unify, who work towards the light, who work towards the universal consciousness and the unconditional love, they're called healers or they're called witches. And like I'm talking about in popular cinema. And those that are called demons and those are called evil witches, black and red witches, they're using their powers for the spirit of separation, the angel of darkness. They're spiraling away. They're spiraling against unconditional love and universal oneness. That makes sense. So you're working for the system or against the system, and that would be your designation. So those working against the system use Saturn. Okay, here's why. Because sometimes you get punished, you get penalized, and your powers get suspended in somehow, some way, some shape, some form or another. And we get greedy. So we will want those powers back, and we won't want to do the penance. Sometimes could last the rest of our lifetime in order to earn those powers back and work for the right kingdom, work for the eternal kingdom. So we'll go to the spirit of separation and do some kind of deal so we'll get those powers back. Does that make sense? And so again, that would be Saturn. Because when Saturn is working positively for you, unless you have that celestial rank, that pure, blissful, the star card, that pure Aquarius, that pure, blissful, benevolent, eternal, immortal designation, if Saturn works with you, and so if you realize Venus is exalted in Pisces, and that's what the star card actually means. The star card is the zodiac. Zodiac different than astrology. Zodiac means circus of stars, circus of animals. Okay, it talks about the school, the cabal, the church. Okay, so the zodiac of Aquarius actually, the zodiac of the star card actually means Aquarius, but the astrology of the star card, it's a couple things. Now, my house is a little different, but then you've joined my circle. You've joined my cabal, which is not, it's completely benevolent, completely 100% Radha, means golden way, cool, white, calm, all that. Okay, anyway, long story short. So classically, the mysteries would teach that when you have the star card, not the zodiac, but the astrology of it, it would be 10th, 11th, 12th house, and that would be your Venus, Moon, or Saturn, or it would be or. It's not just 10th, 11th, 12th house, but it can also be the sign that is the 10th, 11th, or 12th sign. Okay, so that would be Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. Now, also, remember I said, or now we're going to also, it can mean separate of the or. Also, it could just be something as simple as having an exalted Venus. So if you have an exalted Venus, it would be the star card. If you have a midheaven or a rising sign that is Aquarius, it could also be the star card or one of these two things. 10th, 11th, 12th sign, 10th, 11th, 12th house, if your Saturn, Venus, or Moon is in that place. You see the star card? So let's just go back. The star card also represents pure, blissful beings. It's the benevolent, exalted being. So it also basically represents celestial citizenry. The other card that would represent celestial citizenry is the Judgment card, also known as Il Justicia, also known as the 20th Trump, also known as, or the key, also known as the 20th Trump or the 21st key, also known as Shin. Sheen. 200, 2,000, 20,000, doesn't matter, don't care. So one is the people, star card, the other one is the government. And this is celestial, it's not upon the earth. Okay, so that's when Saturn blesses you if you have that Aquarian energy, because Saturn will curse you or punish you. It's always karma in Capricorn, dharma in Aquarius. Also, the 11th house represents the karma you were born with, versus the 5th house, the karma you accumulate. That's also why a bachelor's degree is the 5th house, because you can earn it there. Does that make sense? So that's just coming through. And I'll take a moment to say this is the wrong channel for any type of mystery school stuff. I have another channel. It's called Mystery School Sacred Arts and Devotional Practices, or Mystery School Sacred Arts. You can find it on the show page here on this channel. Okay, because there's something here about coming into our celestial endowment, our spiritual inheritance here. I always say Costa Denari, but this is the actually Denari, the 10 of Pentacles. It's wealth here in this deck. It's 10 of discs. What we'll be imposing the guidance from Aleister Crowley's Thought Tarot, illustrated by Lady Frida Harris. Yeah, so as I was saying, if we come into the path of owning our destiny, the calling upon our life, we will be taking the mystery into our hands. We won't be gate kept by the divine in terms of being something and not being able to exercise. It's almost like being a billionaire or being a prince or being the emperor, but you're like under the age of 18 or something, so you can't control. Does that make sense? You have some kind of regent, some type of guardian, some type of executive. Does that make sense? It's almost like that, of course, because the other divine sign is Gemini. Those are the two kind of divine signs where the people of the universe, the celestial citizens of the universe are born through. We also have Libra, but Libra actually, you take an oath there. So typically those are the people that are like public service workers and they kind of have a knowing. Does that make sense? And Gemini can go evil very easily. It's harder for Aquarius. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, and I'm talking about the energy of the sign and the beings that are born through that sign. If you know the mystery of humanity, the reason we have 26 chromosomes, 23, 26 chromosomes. I'm hearing the number 23 a lot, which actually talks about the crown. 26 talks about celestial endowment, and yeah, celestial endowment. 56 talks about physical wealth. Okay, so that's relevant. Listen, honey, I'm your teacher. I'm your mission school teacher. Trust me, I could teach you whatever you need to know in terms of navigating the universe. I'm not Google, girl. You got to put more than a word "and" into the little search box. Put a whole sentence with a period, okay? Because you're going to get too much back from me. Let's refine the search parameters. Use some search operators even if we need to. So what I'm getting is that we need to take into ownership the calling on our life, because our celestial endowment, spiritual inheritance is going to be gate kept away from us. And I'm being told to put that to me is clickbait. I'm being told to title this video, This is not a mystery about our divine heart, comma space celestial period. That's the title of the video. Okay, let's continue because I'm very disoriented. All right. Well, Jesus take the wheel. Okay, so I'm just going to serve as a vessel here. So yeah, once we take into ownership the calling on our life, once we own it, we take that oath, we act righteously within it. That's the action that they need to see. So the heaven needs to see that action in order for us to be fully enshrined here in the physical Nine of Cups. Okay. And honestly, these are the boundaries and standards we need to have in order to level up and gain the authority that we need with this Queen of Swords. Okay. That's really the action that we need to take with this Queen of Swords. We won't be able to work fully within our assignment. We won't be able to honor our assignment. We won't be able to fuel our assignment until we live and work within the boundaries and standards of the calling on our life. And we need to move, make those kinds of moves and move as such. Okay. So with the Three of Pentacles, that is it. That's the assignment, Three of Pentacles. And the Eight of Pentacles is the role within that assignment. So I'm hearing the word marching orders. Yeah. Because there's some type of throne down here. There's a principality here upon the earth we work within. But we're ranking members, so our order is above that principality. However, the principalities kind of talk about territories upon the earth. There's celestial ones and demonic ones. The celestial ones and infernal ones is the language. Celestial, infernal, eternal, infernal, it's the same thing. So infernal is the enemy. And that's what this is giving. Yeah, so they're waiting. They're waiting on us to report back. They need to see us enshrine something here upon the earth, and that's ourselves. And they've given us everything we need to do, which is simply strength, courage, and wisdom. And until we make those moves, there's not going to be the initiation, the triggering event. And we're bound here under basically we've come into the flesh, so there's certain limits and limitations. But the spot is waiting and it's ready for us. I've said this a few times this past week, that our spot is waiting and somebody took our spot or whatever. We have God duties and obligations with the Hierophant. We need to, because there's a lot of disappointment coming around, not sitting in that spot. And I think somebody else did that. Excuse me just a second. Bye. Somebody else sat in that spot and they put us under bondage to do that. It might have been an agent of the enemy. A dark lighter here I'm finding. So, hi, baby. Hey, girl. Okay. She got started. You can come. All right. So, an agent of the enemy did what? Come on. Bye. Okay, yeah. So again, we did have a coveted spot. That was the thing that was supposed to happen. We were caught up some way since birth. So there was something blocking us from coming into this situation. And earlier on in our origin, maybe somebody we had a blood relationship to, not a soul lineage, but a familial lineage. Hi, baby. Okay. Chandi's come to say hi. I think somebody in our family put something on us because they're jealous. They wanted to do something. They didn't ever want us to wake up. They felt rejected because they weren't blessed. I don't understand why you wouldn't want to see your brethren doing well. I don't understand why people can't celebrate other people. That's a sickness of the spirit and illness of the soul when you see other people getting their comeuppance and you get jealous, you get angry, you worry about yourself. Blessings come in blessed times. So just work on yourself, keep your head down, stay ready, get ready. You know what I'm saying? Again, but that's the devil. The devil will always want to hold you back from springing forward. And that's been the eternal secret since the beginning of time, basically. And the reason is that matter needs antimatter, light needs darkness, love needs hatred in order to be fully defined. So wherever there's a God, there's always going to be a devil. And that's the secret. Wherever there's a God, there's always going to be a devil. See, I did not mean for this card to pop out like that. That was the devil, by the way. Okay, so this is our spiritual practice. Hey, kiddo. Hey, kukuro. So yeah, the situation is as such. There's this ego. So the reason why a person doesn't want to wait for their comeuppance is that there's ego. Distortion is what I saw, but this says dissipation here. Dispute, difference, dissipation, quarrel, distortion, pride. So it's ego. It says here self-worth or ego. So some people's pride is not self-worth and value. Some people's pride is ego, vanity, greed. So when you're vain, vapid, vacuous, void, that's the abyss. Okay. And unfortunately, people don't want to learn their lesson, which is why their privileges get suspended. If corporate, home office, which is the eternal kingdom, if they suspend your access card, what's going to happen? You know, if your wings disappear, what do you think is going to happen? You're bound to the conditions of the physical. And how do you transcend that? Either through unconditional love or through remaining celestial. So 10 of Wands, there's limitations that the flesh has. And understand that you will see Wands, even though it emits energy, it also absorbs energy. People don't understand fire as much as water as it is fire. Water is just compressed fire. People don't realize this. So of course, I mean, we're in a human form here. Okay, so I was shocked by that as I was saying it, but then my understanding came, my empathy came. So this is just how the cards are. This is what's in the cards. This is how things lay, and it's just my job to tell you how things work. You can make whatever you want of it, okay? But that's really literally the agreement that was made, and that's actually what how it works. You're not going to make it through the physical without letting God order your steps. And some of them do. I mean, some of the humans do this. I'm not saying that you can't, but if you have anything in you that would make you go prideful, egotistical, is because there's awareness of divinity in you. The humans that make it. Oh, what are you doing with your nails, Chandi? The, the humans that make it through the physical into the eternal kingdom without having, any help from the Lord, it's just because they have unconditional love. They're that good-hearted, good-natured being. It's the ones that go evil that typically knew something about their divinity, or they would have became a priest or some type of service worker. Does that make sense? They would have entered into that Libra energy, the taking of an oath. Okay, so sitting pretty and self-love, self-respect, self-worth, self-value, building oneself from the inside out, having the fruits of one's labor. This means that you've gone through 9 lifetimes of lessons successfully, and you have that unconditional love with the divine. That's that true, open-hearted, genuine nature. This is a person with an open heart, with a clean heart, a pure heart. Two of Swords would mean that they didn't. Yes, the covenant on their life is still intact. These are all 3 cards of the covenant. And here's the heaven, that celestial government that I was talking about earlier. And this is returning home. So this is the corpus of celestial sovereign employees. Okay, this means the body of all the chosen ones, basically Christ's love. You could also talk about sanctuary, refuge, but we're not. This is not a reading upon the earth. This is a celestial reading here. Okay, so it's going on about the government of heaven. It just keeps going on about heaven, 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 heaven. So what? How do I explain this? So the secret is that there's a spot waiting for us, and we need to get to it. We were born with it, and it's been hidden from us, probably starting with the conditioning of our origin, with our family. That's the malady. We had a mother, daddy, teacher, preacher getting on our case, getting in our face because we were deciding to be individual and unique, and that threatened them because we weren't easily to be controlled. So they were like, get in the box, be conditioned, be boring, broken, basic. Excuse me, just a second. I'm just gonna get some schmutz out of her eye. Okay, so they were yeah, so here let me just give you the solution. We're in a sunken place, stuck place until we get that medicine that we need, doctora here. So let me just fish it out of the obvious for you. Because it's been breadcrumbs up until now. There's a little bit of truth in everything, but we've all been lied to. So let's just take a private moment, La Stanza, and let me get right with it and tell you what's up. The reason that we're lukewarm, tepid, placid, and basic is because it's been hidden from us, right in front of our eyes, too. The best place to hide something is in plain sight. So we're wandering around deep, dark crevices looking for it, and we get stuck in those places looking for that when it's right in front of us. Heaven is here. Earth is actually a dimension, and it's not an actual place. So that's the secret, and that's what everybody spiritually knows. But all that they gave us was this, a malady, because there's a falsity and a misnomer. And so we need to learn, if we're not made of love, we're not going to be able to find the truth. So if we're miserly, bitter, if we're evil, sinister, wicked, the truth is right in front of us, but we willingly overlook it. That's why they always say those who deserve power don't seek it. So if you're looking for the answer, it's not going to find you. You need to be the answer. And that's how it'll come to you. And no, I'm sorry. If you're looking for the answer, you're not going to find it. You need to be the answer and it will find you. That's the secret. This has been a fascinating reading. I want to go because I'm disoriented. I'm being told to go one more round. We have what's called an expanded record. We have an Akashic reading. I'm being told to go to the Five of Swords, so it might go longer than I anticipate. I don't want to do that. I'm kind of done. So let's see. Paradiso, eternal kingdom. So we're here born under sin. This is sin. Explícame, sacerdote. Sine is what they're calling sin, as in sine waves, which is at this side of the moon. The other side of the moon, and that's the illuminati, the intelligentsia. And so this is what we need to come and fight for. This is the position we need to defend. And I just need to make sure that we understand about the celestial flame. The celestial flame is our crown. That's all I could say. We do get given a crown, but it could be a 7th dimensional crown or a 10th dimensional crown. So the 10th dimensional crown is the highest physical being can go in the universe. You need to be non-physical, non-corporeal to access the 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th dimension. But that would be what the crown is attuned and attested to. Any physical being is in 7 dimensions at one time. You can be quarantined into less dimensions, but not in the physical body. So if you're quarantined to the lower dimensions, that's hell. If you're quarantined to the higher dimensions, that's heaven. And the way for more dimensions to open up is to incarnate, be born into the flesh. But then you also come under the gatekeeper of the angel of dark, which means you can go wrong. Your power will have a balance. And the way to balance power is called karma. Okay. So 3 of Cups. This is the blessing. This is what we were given, granted. And I'm here to tell you that message. That's why they sent me. Because in order for us to have a supreme authority, also look up Narada because he's here. There's messages. The Buddha as well, we can call that. Okay, baby, don't fall. Come on. I'm working, silly. Oh, she's really playful right now. Watch those nails. Don't get scared. Okay, I gotta work, girl. The Buddha is here. King of Swords and the Magician, oftentimes with the Sun card or the 3 of Cups, means the Buddha. I mean, for real, whenever you see the Sun, the Magician, and the King of Swords, there's always the Buddha. And then the confirmation, the 3 of Cups, and it all came out in one fell swoop. So it's for sure. The other confirmation would be all the 3s, and we have multiple 3s here as well. So this is the Buddha. So it's the mind of creation. It's the most purified human form you could be in. It's the ideal of the human form. So we also have here Tahuti, Thoth, Hermes, Narada, Iris. Somebody has an Aries moon. There's been a secret kept from us, Aries moon. Okay, so suppression, repression, oppression, but it was for the purpose of us not venturing too far away from our spot. And it was done by the heavens too. So this is God directing the steps of his children without their consent. But that he does have our consent because we agreed before we came here. It's just because the spot waiting for us is so coveted, it's not even funny. Like people would kill their firstborn to get this spot. and you can't copy the original. I mean, it's a mystery. It's not the truth because there are beings older than Jesus. But if Jesus died for our sins, you hear what I'm saying? So you can't. The only creation story that, and I'm talking about the creation of the physical creation, the creation of what we call the earth, which is an enneagram for heart, by the way. You know, this might turn into spiritual counsel. Excuse me, I have a very needy cat right now. Bye. Um, the only really copy of the creation story, and that's a misnomer, but I'm using that language anyways, is when people turn evil and think they can go against the authority. That's usually the devil, why the devil got cast out, you know, the whole rebellion and Samuel becoming Lucifer, becoming the devil, becoming Satan. You hear them saying Shemael. So we have 3 fours here. That's suppression, oppression, repression, depression, but it's celestial here in its nature. And we don't have the one that would talk about, we don't have the one that would talk about the one where the evil beings live, the one where the enemies hang out. That was all about celestial formation. I had no way to explain what that last round was. I don't know how to decode that. I'm not saying that I don't. I have to give away a lot, and this is not the place for that. It's just not. Like you would have to stretch you warp your mind to understand half that stuff. Okay. Yeah, so the alignment is that we lived without a lot of things. We were stripped. You know how I keep saying our spot was ready? Some of the glory comes from being lifted and exalted in front of the enemy, as Michael was. We call him Lucifer, but it was Shemael. Like Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriah, Shemael. That was the original beloved, the one of the golden trumpet. And the powers were divided between Uriel, no, Aniel, and Michael. So Shemael's rank was taken. He was cast down to the earth or hell, as one would call it. He was given dominion over the physical, basically flesh, and his powers and virtues were divided between 2 angels. We have divine virtue and righteous virtue. So the righteous virtue was given to Michael, and divine virtue was given to Aniel. There's also Uriel, but that's the celestial secretary, basically the assistant of God. This is the message. There was a stripping that went, and this is part of the mystery of being born into the physical. So this is why celestial citizens or divine children go without. It's because part of the glory is to be elevated in front of the enemy. And oftentimes the enemy will think they won. They think they're successful because they caused the divine one to fall, the chosen one to fall in some kind of way. Typically the falling isn't about losing their privileges. It's about going without. The enemy is able to steal something from the chosen one, a lover or a job or some kind of opportunity. Upon the earth, it would look like things like a record contract or things like that nature. It could be a lover or a boyfriend. It could be, and some of them are even more insidious, but those are the grand chosen, the 144,000, the 144. You know, that one is more about like, because those are kings and queens upon the earth, basically. So those epic stories is like you'll see them try to like turn their hearts dark. Does that make sense? Because love can destroy a demon and hatred can destroy a chosen. There's a reason why devil loves Venus so much. He has an obsession with her. It's not real love. There's a difference between treasuring somebody and treasuring somebody and desiring someone. What is this reading? I'm not shocked or confused or anything. I'm just, this is a massive departure from the norm. Yes, remember I was saying there's a difference between cherishing and desiring someone. Well, we have debauchery here, Seven of Cups. That's the swamp people. Here's those celestial sovereign citizens. I was talking about the pure, blissful beings. Okay, this reading is just gone out of my control. I'm so sorry for the reading being so long. I'm really overwhelmed. It doesn't mean it's too much. I'm not overstimulated. I'm not being bombarded. I can't deal with this. This is out of alignment with my standards. I'm being given an untenable assignment. I'm inclined to reshuffle, but I'm not allowed. In the end of the readings at the end of this deck here. And I don't know what to do with that. So when our spot does come back to us, we're going to be fully prepared, Queen of Pentacles. And that it will send an alert off throughout the cosmos, so we don't have to worry about that. The alert is the double seven here. We the pair of sevens is here in this instance. It's the wands and the cups. Throughout the cosmos, that would be the 10 of cups. That's the entire universe. Star card, Queen of Pentacles. So that's somebody who's been prepared to be a star, who's been the Queen of Pentacles has been prepared. She might have went to education, or the resources were built up and enshrined, meaning you took $100, put it in the bank, now it's earning interest, and it pays all your bills passively. It'll never be depleted without some external force. We also have another trigger here, Seven of Swords. Yeah, so when this truth comes out, when this break out, break free moment happens, it's because we would have overcame. So you remember how we had the star card at the crown, and now we have the devil at the crown. Remember I was talking about earlier that Saturn basically is the devil. It's not, but he is the lord of the physical. So why don't we just say Saturn is the devil? Saturn is the energy where God comes through. And God is the all consciousness. It's the omnipotent God. So in that sense, Saturn is where the devil comes through. Because Uranus is where the good God comes through, and Saturn is where the bad God comes through. And Uranus is the energy that dissolves Saturn. And by the way, Saturn conjunct Uranus is the wounded healer, oftentimes Chiron. I have Saturn conjunct Uranus opposed Chiron, just so you know what's up. And that would be this energy, by the way. I'll just put that out there for those who are initiated. So, so this is saying like, once we overcome the devil, I mean, period. Once we break out, break free, Seven of Swords, full card, less card. But once we overcome our own inner demons, once we overcome the external demon, and once we find the truth out about demons, because we're born at war. Page of Wands. Page of Wands is the child under attack. When that child rushes home and they're saying, hey, there's a war. I mean, there's so many ways to take the cards, and the mysteries in my house are divided by groupings. We have Epiphany theory, serene technique, miracle technology, command structure. We have different simulations so that I could teach you the cards. I teach you the cards, 13 different styles of reading cards just for interpretation. Because to me, the cards are not cards, the cards are keys. It's a vertex verbibus. And I'll have to show you a physical, like an image, like a pictorial to explain, but let's continue. Okay, so yeah, that was it. I transmuted. When we learn the truth about the devil, and that's basically what happens incarnate, we break free from this. I guess one could call it a matrix. The moon's gone, so we don't have that here. But it's the truth about our virtue. Once we break free from the bondage that is being born into the physical, that's when the game really begins. Yeah, so that's when our eye opens. That's really what it is. We know our truth. We have access to our supreme authority. Then the universe opens up to us, because until then, we're banished, we're punished, we're criminal. And that's really what it is. Until we earn our wings back, we don't have access to the universe. And that's the thing. That's why we incarnated, because we need to learn this truth, Princess of Swords. The Page of Swords is like a spy. You need to learn some kind of information through any means necessary. Yeah, and it's most benign, it's a delayed message, and it's most malignant, it's a spy, a Judas, a Jezebel, a Jonah. So the healing here comes through going through strife upon the earth. We have to become unbasic. What does that mean? We're going to be born with the crab in the bucket, and we need to get out of the bucket. And a lot of times the crabs are going to try to drag us back down. But when we find that way to get out of the bucket, that's when the game really starts. That's when we win the game. We're actually born behind enemy lines. That's for chosen children, what's going on, how it's seen. So we incarnate into a war, and I really don't want to take that terminology here on the channel right now. This is a super spiritual, this is a hyper esoteric reading. Ooh, okay, let's keep going. I have other work to do, so I don't want to wait till later. I'm going to have to drug myself and keep myself awake. I mean, that's what I mean. I caffeinate myself and stay up through the night, because I'm not going to do my work tomorrow. I'm doing it today. I'll just sacrifice tomorrow, but not right now. I refuse to. Sorry, I refuse to give up my schedule for today, and this is going to take a lot out of me. Okay, so this is the thing kept from us. This is the secret kept from us. I can't put any more cards on the camera for a reason. The Two of Swords means you have a closed heart. Period. It has other meanings. You know, the humans or the third dimensional folks would be like, um, oh, it means that you're indecisive. Okay, yeah, it does mean decisiveness. It, for me, when I'm semi-physical, semi-spiritual, I would say like, oh, this means that your third eye is not making it down to the heart. There's some blockage there. So you're more in your lower chakras than the higher chakras. Here, it means that you have a closed heart. Those who have a closed heart, or who the secret is kept from, would be getting trained, initiated by the Lord. That's the chariot and the hangman. And those with an open heart just get prepared for their spot. So unless you decide to go against the creation, you typically still get into the kingdom. It just takes you a lot longer. And if you make a big mistake, that's karma. Here's the thing though, if you go through your karma, because karma really just means lesson. If you go through your karma, you still learn that lesson. So these are God duties and obligations here upon the earth. Hierophants come back with the Five of Cups. So that's how you order yourself. Because the secret of the flesh is that you need to earn your spot. And there's conditions placed in the physical. Experiences will come based on your vibration. And that's the thing that decides and initiates. I'm gonna make myself a creme brulee protein shake after this. That'll keep me up for a while because I add a little bit of espresso to it. So now I can settle. I can get into the reading. Oh, hi, babe. The cat came right back. Oh, honey, just don't be distracted. My sweetheart. This is Chandi, by the way, for those that are new. Chandika. Chandikane is her full name. It's a long name. Okay. So, come on, girl. Sweetheart, this is what we're going to do. I don't want any lip from you, okay? Thank you, honey. That's just the thing. Like, we need to journey through the physical, we need to journey through the flesh in order to earn our spot. And I'm hearing Harriet Tubman, so that's a Chamba queen. Hey, watch the nails. Yeah, so eternal damnation is being spoken. So what's happening right now is those who are agents of the dark, who are operating against the grand design, the great plan, they are being punished. But what's happening is that they were caught. The thing about it is they get caught coming up against the chosen children. So we're like a trap. We're an op. And when they strike upon us, when they put their energy into, we're like a lure. We're like the flame that the moths get attracted to and they get zapped kind of deal. When they decide to bring their negative energy upon us, that's when they get charged as guilty. Because if they come across our path and they decide to harm us in any way, that's actually already being caught. The moment you decide to start harming us, the moment you start scheming, conspiring with orchestrations, machinations, and that's actually a gift. I don't understand how eternal damnation can be gifts for some people, but I guess that's how the darkness gets purified. Because really, in order to be delivered to God, you do have to have the darkness out of you. It doesn't mean that you can't have darkness in you, but it can't be in your heart. It can never make it through the heart. It just won't work. And that's why we're talking about the snake in the Garden of Eden. That's why they got cast out. They're quarantined out. Literally, in order to make it into the Eden, it's Eden. Actually, if you translate that, it means petri dish, like a controlled space. So you get quarantined out. There's protocols in the simulation. There's protocols in the laboratory. You can't get through anymore. So some people are so evil, sinister, and wicked that the abyss, that the duat, that the eternal damnation is the only thing that cleanses and purifies them. Yeah, so we're here in our spot. Death will bring us back to the other realm whenever that happens. It's an average of 84 years. 84 years down upon the earth is one day in the high heaven. It's true. So when you hear about eternity, believe it or not, eternity is only 4.32 billion years. However, what dimension are you in? Because time feels a lot different in certain dimensions. See, the high heaven is not the highest heaven. And the highest heaven, 4.32 billion years, is really just 1 year. So I do not have time to go through time right now, not celestial time. But look up the word kalpa, Kalpa. Let's move on. Okay. Well, darling, I'll just tell you my secret. I am the keeper of the library. I don't know what else to say. I mean, we can learn anything we want today, but it's not going to happen. I'm just going to tell you what the messages are saying. There's a covenant on our life. I mean, there's no other way to say it. We are chosen children, period, point blank, end of story. And we are going to be protected in that. And that's our divinity as well. Okay. I'm also hearing this language calling all divine children. So I just want to welcome you back home, brother, sister, whoever is watching. I love you, I honor you, I praise you, I thank you. It is my job and duty, and I gratefully, faithfully accept to prepare a room for you in the eternal kingdom of the divine, to make sure there's a place for you in paradise. And I'm not the supreme authority on that. I was sent to be an envoy of that gift and promise. And it's a delight and an honor and a pleasure to do so. Thank you for allowing me to serve you. As I always say, I'm not your gay best friend. I'm your spiritual bestie. I'm your priestess. I was sent to save your soul. And as I said, it's a delight and an honor and a pleasure to do that. Thank you for allowing me the privilege to serve you. We are of a collective of chosen children. There's a spot waiting for us, Six of Cups, in the eternal kingdom. And it's finally reached us. Consider this that moment. Okay, so once we know how to navigate, negotiate, once we know how to deal with, believe it or not, the matrix is a gift. The matrix is a gift to wake up our mind. It's the perfect simulation. We wouldn't be able to understand our free will and wake up and understand our own galactic sovereignty, eternal sovereignty. We wouldn't know that we were God, sovereign, and free without the matrix. It's not seen as that, and it's been taken by the enemy, and it's been used, warped by, colonizer, controller, which is mother, daddy, teacher, preacher, history books, science books, religious books, textbooks, things of that nature. It's been warped and bastardized, and it's been used in a way for colonization and control, imperialism, industrialization, and colonialism, and such. Okay, I'm just gonna say, there's some trickster energy, Moon and the magician. They want to use this energy to warp us and not cleanse us. There's also this energy of the false light. And after death, they want us to get trapped in the false light so that we're recycled here in some way. And we've been keeping this sacred spiritual position without even knowing. And the thing is, they try always to swap destinies with us, but they can't, because they can copy our energy, but they can't copy our anointing. Okay, so they're being so overthink, gosh. They can copy our energy, but they cannot copy our anointing. And I'm very upset with what they've done to the divine feminine. It enrages me, it breaks my heart. And it's designed to be soul crushing. So, as an empath, it's a harsh reality. Keep hearing that song. A scrub is a guy that thinks he's flying as oh so alone as a buster. Always talking about what he had, but this is song is drunk as a no. Who sings that? No, I don't want your number. I don't want to give you mine. I don't want to meet you nowhere. I don't want none of your time. Who sings that? Cause I don't want no scrub. TLC. Oh, Left Eye. She was so beautiful. I love her soul so much. I don't want no scrub. Okay, so that's what can't get back into the kingdom. You can't be this rusty, dusty, musty, crusty spiritual being. It don't work. It's an oxymoron. I don't want none of your time. Yeah, so the goal is to become pure-hearted, blissful, and blissful. Blissful and blissful is what I said. You need to be open-hearted, innocent, innocent, innocent. Page of Cups, innocent. We need to be innocent. And wasn't that what we started talking about? Wasn't that what we started talking about at the beginning? I don't have my watch. They did something to me today. I don't know what they did. They really ordered my steps. Um, at the beginning of the video, we were talking about innocent, open-hearted, good-hearted, good-natured beings. We need to defend that. We need to defend our open heart. We need to defend our clean soul, because that is the place where we receive glory. That is the throne upon which we retain our sovereign citizenry, because we will be those who are the keepers of the Garden of Eden. That's the place from which we maintain our access to paradise. And if we lose our open heart, it's like losing the keys to our own house. So if we allow our heart to become unclean, if we become mired in bitterness and misery, we lose access to the eternal kingdom. That's what we need to defend as well. So I think we're concluding the reading. Let's see the 5 of Swords here. Oh, yeah, that was the law. That was the law. Okay, so and then the 5 of Pentacles has gone to the other side. So I see the enemy losing again. Okay, that's not funny. This means another round of eternity in hell for them. That's not always pleasant. But that is the key. That is the mystery here that we're keeping. High Priestess, that there's a covenant in our life, 5 of Swords in reverse. There's a covenant in our life. If you look in the thought, the 5 of Swords in reverse is the crown. Also, number 2, 3, 23, 2 plus 3 equals 5, that 5 of Swords. Swords is supreme authority. Often the swords are bad because you can grip that here in the physical before it's given to you, before it's earned, which just talks about you being an archdemon, also known as an archon. It's basically like an archangel in the infernal, not for the other side, for the enemy. So the mystery, the secret here is that we're incarnated in order to be prepared for this stripping of free will so that we can merge into divine will, which means we become an agent of the grand design, the great plan, the grand orchestration. And it sounds like becoming enslaved and dentured, but actually it's only something that the flesh does to us because we have desires down here in this realm. And when there's sense desires, it easily warps. That's the easiest way for the devil to get in, the enemy to get in. But that's actually the weakest of beings. A lot of people have self-control, but they don't have willpower. Does that make sense? The willpower, the enemy needs to deploy other tactics and weapons for that. And that's the secret. That's what we have to come down here and work with. Yeah. So that's butterfly here. So that's how the story comes to in the end. After everything is said and done, this is what emerges from the chrysalis, from the cocoon. And we will be bound to the physical, coming again and again and again and again until we learn that lesson. So we will just recycle back into the physical. So spirit means longing, waiting for your ships to come in. Donna Maritata, this is how we're kept here in the physical. Queen of Pentacles, Donna Maritata, let's just say. And this is 8 of Swords. And then this is 9 of Swords, prigione, the prison, being stuck. But this is how we return, Rione. 8 of Wands. This is how our energy frees up again. And this is portal keeping for you. It's been an honor and pleasure. 8 of Wands. Portal keeping for you. It's been an honor and pleasure to serve you. Thank you for allowing the privilege to do so. Keep an eye out for your spot coming back. Okay. I love you, honor you, I praise you, I thank you. It's been a delight and honor to serve. Oh, we can't see that. Okay, so I can't put any more on camera. The Two of Cups is what we need to worry about. Two of Cups, Three of Cups. Okay. Take good care, honey. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.